The human mind is the greatest of treasures. Everything that man is capable of conceiving and believing, he is capable of achieving. This truth, simple and powerful, has been neglected for entire generations, yet it remains firm as one of the fundamental laws of success. Failure is rarely the result of lack of opportunity or luck. In most cases, it is born from doubt, from the absence of a definite purpose, and from the lack of a burning desire strong enough to keep someone moving forward, even in the face of the greatest adversities. Everything begins with a thought. But not just any thought. There must be an emotional impulse behind it, a true hunger for achievement that transforms abstract ideas into consistent action. The world is full of people with good ideas, grand dreams, and noble intentions. However, few persist until the end, until they see those dreams materialize. The difference between dreamers and achievers is, almost always, the intensity with which they desire and the clarity with which they visualize their goal. Desire is the starting point of all achievement. But it needs to be nurtured and transformed into something more concrete. When a man desires something with all his being, that desire begins to occupy every corner of his mind. He starts thinking about it upon waking and before going to sleep, and ideas begin to emerge as if the universe itself were responding to his call. This is not magic, but a form of mental concentration so powerful that it ends up influencing not only one's own behavior but also the circumstances around them. However, merely wishing is not enough. It is necessary to transform desire into a definite purpose. Having a clear, specific goal with deadlines and outlined plans is the foundation upon which success is built. Purpose acts as a lighthouse in the storm, guiding the individual when everything around seems uncertain. The one who possesses a definite purpose rarely gives in to discouragement for long. He understands that obstacles are a natural part of the process and that every failure contains an essential lesson. Faith is the fuel of that purpose. It is not merely religious faith, but an unshakable confidence in the ability to achieve what one seeks. The human mind operates in harmony with what it believes to be possible. Those who believe they are not capable end up sabotaging themselves, often without realizing it. On the other hand, those who cultivate faith in their own ability create the ideal mental conditions to achieve what they desire. The repetition of positive thoughts, of constructive affirmations, is a powerful tool to feed this faith and reprogram the mind for success. The subconscious is a silent yet extremely effective ally. Everything we repeat with enough emotion ends up being absorbed by this deep part of the mind, which begins to act as fertile ground for the ideas we plant. It influences our attitudes, decisions, behaviors, and even the opportunities we attract. That is why it is vital that our dominant thoughts are of prosperity, courage, optimism, and action. The power of self-image should not be underestimated. The way someone sees themselves directly influences the results they achieve. Those who see themselves as failures tend to act accordingly, even unconsciously. But those who develop a mental image of themselves as winners inevitably end up adopting behaviors that bring them closer to success. This mental image does not arise out of nowhere, but can be built through repetition, visualization, and the constant practice of seeing oneself as already having achieved the goal. Knowledge, though valuable, only becomes power when it is organized and applied in a practical manner. Many spend years accumulating information, attending courses, and reading books but fail to apply what they learn. True power lies in action. The world does not reward those who merely know, but those who do. The persistent application of knowledge, combined with the courage to make mistakes and try again, is what separates theorists from achievers. Another essential principle is persistence. Almost all of humanity's greatest achievements were accomplished by those who refused to give up. Even when everything seemed lost, even when facing closed doors and blocked paths, they kept going. Persistence is the ultimate test of faith. Those who continue despite fear, doubt, and criticism eventually find a way to win. Failure only becomes permanent when it is accepted as such. Until then, it is just a curve in the road, a chance to reassess, adjust, and move forward with greater wisdom. Moreover, no one achieves great things alone. The mastermind principle, the alliance of minds in harmony for a common purpose, is one of the most underestimated forces in the modern world. When two or more people unite with a shared goal, their thoughts multiply in power. Ideas arise, solutions appear, and the energy of the group fuels individual persistence. Choosing carefully whom to walk with, whom to share dreams with, is just as important as the dream itself. Fear is the greatest thief of dreams. It disguises itself as prudence, as common sense, as realism. But most of the time, it is merely an excuse that the subconscious finds to avoid the discomfort of action. Fear of criticism, fear of failure, fear of poverty, illness, old age, death, These are all mental barriers that need to be overcome. And the first step to overcoming them is to identify them. Then they must be faced with deliberate action, even if through small steps at first. Imagination is another powerful resource. Everything ever created by man first existed in someone's mind. Every building, invention, company, or system was born from the ability to visualize what did not yet exist. Creative imagination, when stimulated by burning desire and faith, can build bridges between the invisible and the real. The more one exercises the mind with detailed mental images of the goal, the more real it becomes, until there is no longer any distinction between thought and reality.